Went by quick. We just shot 3 episodes today. So that was like nearly 6 hours. That's 5.5 hours. Yeah. Dadgum. Sitting here for 5.5 hours. But anyway, we talked about angels. This was pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. We went down some rabbit trails and stuff, like we always do. Do angels right off the bat? Do they have avatars where they attack people? I don't know. It's interesting stuff.
Armor suits,
Yeah. It's very interesting. We live in a very strange world. This is a good shout out to Haunted Cosmos. It's more than just stuff. We live in a world full of crazy things, which is really, really cool. And it's awesome that God made us and gave us the ability to be part of this. Right. And we're given a role. We're not just bystanders. We're given a role. And they have a role. Angels have a role.
Right. Yeah. And there, one thing we have learned, there's order and there's structure to the kingdom of God and how he manages and runs things. Yeah. Like, it is not just a free for all. Like, nope. There's structure and roles. We're part of that. The heavenly hosts are part of that. Exactly. And like we've talked about, this is a world that God created. There's some mystery in it. There's some things that are hard to wrap your head around and are unexplainable, but it is all created by God, and we're just trying to understand the role we play with our elder siblings.
Shout out to Timothy Alberino.
Yeah, future friend of the show.
Yeah, someday he can come in here and anyway, that's a long intro, but we're good. Let's get into angels. Let's do it. All right, you ready, Freddie?
All right. Welcome into season 1. This 10?
This 10. That's it.
We made it. Final episode of season 1. We are here today. I am Nick. That is Caleb. And we are going to have a little discussion about the good guys.
Good guys. We just talked about demons.
Yeah. If you haven't checked out our previous episode, we go into the bad guys, right? The demons, a little bit about the kingdom of darkness. We are going to shed some light in this episode on the heavenly hosts, right? The hierarchy and roles of angelic beings. So
it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it should be a good one. A lot to get into. I'm sure we'll not make it to everything.
No, we'll go down some rabbit trails, and I'm sure we'll miss some very important things because we always do that. But we're people.
We are people.
We are fallible.
We are people.
Yep. You're like, yeah, that's a true statement. I hope so. I hope we're people.
So right off the top, the caricature of the little fat babies with
fat naked babies
playing the harps, throw that right out the window.
Yeah.
That couldn't be any further from the truth.
Nope.
And what the Bible has to say about these angelic beings of the heavenly host, which are innumerable.
Yeah.
Which doesn't mean they have a fixed number. We just don't know what it is.
We just don't know what it is.
So,
do they have a fixed number?
Well, I would think so, right?
I don't know.
If they can't reproduce.
Are we told that they cannot, or are we told that they don't? Even if they do not, can God create more?
We're starting right away.
Told you, we got some rabbit trails.
Right into it. Okay. So let's figure this one out. So we are told in Luke, Jesus says that they do not reproduce. What's the?
I'm gonna look that up because I had it pulled up. They're not married nor given in marriage.
Yep.
That was Luke.
So just to go back to our last episode 9, we do talk about how the fallen angels, right? You have the Watchers in the Genesis 6 episode, they reproduce with humans. So there is some kind of reproduction that is possible. So there's enough similarities between us and them that is possible. Now, do they? Woof. All right. So if they have the components,
yes, they have the hardware
to do that. here's another question: are there female angels?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
Very
somewhere have verse.
Strong,
I will look at that.
Strong answer.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Because
I like the confidence.
Yeah. Generally, we're like, no, they're not there because they don't have marriage, and I will find the verse.
Yeah.
There is a verse that says it, and it's like, what are you going to do with that verse? But I'll find it in a minute.
Yeah. So we have angelic beings reproducing with humans, which created the Nephilim, and then we're not necessarily told or directly told that angels are incapable of reproducing to their own kind. Is that
so? The verse here, the John chapter you're talking about, Luke. The sons of this age marry and are given in marriage, but those who are considered worthy, they cannot die anymore because they are equal to angels and are sons of God, being sons of this. This is not the right verse. Because there's three different. It's in Matthew, Mark, and Luke.
All right, we'll cut it. Start over again. No.
No, we'll just.
Yeah,
it's in here. Let me find
it's in there. It's in there. Jesus talks about how they will be like the angels who are not given in marriage, right?
Yeah, to paraphrase, yes, they do not marry nor are given in marriage. It says nothing about the fact they can't have kids.
Right.
They're not married nor given in marriage. That's in essence what it is talking about. So, again, absence of evidence is not evidence, and I guess read between the lines and stuff. Yeah, it says they're not married. It doesn't say anything about having kids. And then exactly like what you're saying, Genesis 6 says, sons of God came down and did this stuff. They lusted, which means they have hormones. They acted on it, which means they have hardware. And they actually fulfilled the whole thing, which means they can do things.
All right.
I mean, to me, that's a pretty solid thing saying that they can do that. I don't remember where we were going with this part of it.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going with that either.
Because you asked a simple question and I tried to complicate it by saying, can they?
It's, well, we were talking about the heavenly host being innumerable.
Oh, a set number, yes.
Yeah, so like, is it a set number, like God made X amount? You know, we don't know that number. You know, it could be in the billions. I don't know.
We have no idea.
We are told that there's a lot.
Sure.
You know, multitudes in heaven.
Yeah.
And
Matthew 22:30.
Okay.
For in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like the angels of heaven.
Okay.
So it talks about being married, but doesn't talk about having kids. Which again, just be careful. You don't read too much into things, but if you have other verses where you say that the same class of being procreated, you got to do something with that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to try to find the other one about female angels. I don't know.
This one I don't know. So this will be educational.
You don't know this one?
For me, not off the top of my head.
I think it's Zechariah 5:9, I think. Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi.
Yeah. So the big, like, we have some similarities between parts of the heavenly host, right? You have the fallen sons of God. You have these, the Watchers, the sons of God from the Tower of Babel incident, and then you have these spiritual entities that are on God's side.
Yes,
they're both Elohim.
Yes,
like they are made the same creatures.
Yeah,
right. So they're part of this spiritual world, this unseen realm, right? Created by Yahweh, but some have chosen to rebel against God. So they start from the same place as these spiritual beings, Elohim, but some have drifted
some
away.
Some have rebelled and some have stayed loyal
to do their own thing, right? So like big similarities, they're all coming from the same place, right? So like God created these beings, right? They're created by God. They are not omniscient. They are not all powerful. That is reserved for God alone. Right. So they are created, and at one point, right, they would have all been together.
Sure, I would say
living in harmony, doing God's will, and then they decided to rebel. So they're almost like, siblings in a way, right?
Yep.
And then so that's one similarity that I think it is important to just
similar between what?
Not demons.
Oh, okay.
But similarities between your sons of God that are still serving God, and the sons of God that have chosen to rebel. Yeah.
No, I'd agree with that.
And the big difference is their allegiance, right? So you have angelic beings that are still faithful servants to God.
Yes, 100%.
Ones that rebelled and now undermine God's kingdom.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say there's a direct correlation between how that family works and how humans work, right? Because humans are created in the image of God, and we were given dominion of earth. This is our estate. This is where we're supposed to be. And you have some humans who remain loyal to Christ, some humans who absolutely do not and rebel and go and do different things, right? I would say it's the same thing. I would even argue that, however we want to say them, I mean, angel, we'll get into that. I mean, exactly what that means, but heavenly host, okay, that they are, I would say they're created in the image of God because they image him in their estate, where they're supposed to be, which is not earth. They weren't created here. They weren't given earth. This is not where they're supposed to be. They are in their first estate, which wherever that is, it's not here, but they image God there. And so you have some who choose to remain loyal and some who choose not to.
Yeah. I think you like how Timothy Alberino puts it as the elder race.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that because it makes so much sense to me.
Our older siblings.
Yeah. And it goes back, and this is, I don't know at what point this is jumping in somewhere, but Alberino brings up the whole, the prodigal son story. Which, if you have that as God being the father, and then you have the son who didn't leave as being the elder race, they're the older brother, the angelic beings, whatever, and then you have us, a younger sibling, who leave and come back, and there's some jealousy there and stuff like that. But you also have the servants,
right?
Which is like this unspoken class of things to where God created earth, he put humans on the earth, but he also put the animals.
Right.
See where I'm going with this?
Yes.
So God created heaven, and he created his family. Who's to say there's not other things out there that are not angels, demons, whatever? It's just other things.
Right.
Like we got dogs and cats and dinosaurs, or maybe not dinosaurs. I don't know. We can get into that whole thing. Dogs and cats and bears and sheep and whatever.
Yeah.
Who's to say there's not these other things out there that do things, but they are not the same as sons of God, even Elohim, right?
Right.
There's just other things out there.
Yeah. I think that would be limiting God's creativity.
Yeah. Right? To say
that there's definitely not. I mean, we don't know.
We don't know.
Is it like completely relevant? Not really. But
not really.
Possible.
I would say it's relevant. It will be relevant whenever we have find life on different planets and stuff.
Sure.
Right? Because I don't think if we do find, I think they say they have found, and I haven't fact checked, if they find microbes on Mars.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an angel. I don't think it's a demon.
Yeah. It's just
a life. It's a thing.
Creation.
It's a,
yeah. I
would say that's where it would become relevant, because if you don't, if you say that none of that exists and then they find it and you're like, well, then God didn't create it. Well, no.
Yeah.
It's just God created everything. Don't be scared of people finding stuff, because if it did, then that's awesome. Yeah. Go read C.S. Lewis' Space Trilogy. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I found that verse though, talking about women angels. You've never heard this? So this is Zechariah 5, verse 9. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, 2 women coming forward. The wind was in their wings. They had wings like the wings of a stork, and they lifted up baskets between the earth and heaven.
That's right. Okay.
I think that's the only mention of female angels.
And female something.
They're given wings. They go up and down between heaven and earth. That does not sound human.
I would say no.
So it's something else.
Have wings. So.
We don't have wings. At least not now. I don't think we're ever gonna get wings. I'm just saying,
unfortunate.
If you like sewed them on or something. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's an interesting speculation.
Okay,
but here's the thing to where
reference again.
Zechariah 5:9.
Zechariah 5:9. Okay.
So if anybody ever tells you that no female angels exist, I would at least say this and say do something with it.
Yeah,
because it doesn't sound like a human and it doesn't sound like an animal.
Well, the appearance of a woman, right?
Not appearance, and behold, two women coming forward. Right. The wind was in their wings.
So clearly, he's identifying them as women. Like that is
female in some aspect,
unmistakable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And they had wings, which generally speaking, if something has wings, it is able to fly, move, go between heaven and earth. That's the whole like symbology behind all that kind of stuff. I think that's where the whole angels have wings thing, because they can go between heaven and earth, and
right.
The only thing it does is birds, and birds have wings. So how do we, talk about that? Well, we give them wings.
Sure.
This doesn't mean they have to have them, but I don't know. So anyway, I didn't know you didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, and we look at, the different classes of these beings, right? Cherubim and seraphim, are described as having wings.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
And so it's a characteristic of at least some of these creatures in the in the heavenly host.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Which doesn't contradict this passage. Like it's sharing the same similarities.
Yeah. Sharing the same, and whether it's an actual physical thing or it's a representative of something saying it can fly.
Right.
Right. So if you had something with wings all up and down and left and right and whatever, well, that could mean that it can move up, down, left, right, diagonally, however they say that in Harry Potter. But, you can move all over the place. Then that could also just mean it's letting you know it can go everywhere.
Right.
Or it could mean that it has wings on its face and over its feet and left and right. It could mean both.
Yeah.
So that just kind of jumped way ahead into who knows where that was at. But that was fun. That's fun. We'll catch y'all next time. I'm kidding.
That's it. Wrap it up.
But angels. So you know this, and I know this, but angels doesn't mean what many people think that it means. And I think I almost might be wrong on that now, because I think a lot of this stuff is coming out, and people probably know that angels don't mean just whatever. Like it's a job description, right? So it means messenger. Which that unlocks a whole lot of stuff, because if you understand that, then you have different times where you have you mentioned it earlier before we really started recording, but the whole angel of the Lord thing, right? Which if something is labeled an angel, or in Revelation, the angels of the churches, if it just means messenger, there's place for that meaning. That's the pastor of the church. That's the messenger of that church, which kind of makes sense in some things, right?
Right.
So we gotta be careful.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a passage that uses angelos, right, which is Greek for angels. It uses that word to describe John the Baptizer's disciples. They're bringing a message.
Right. Because
so it's using it as a messenger. Like your job is delivering this message. And so you have angels as messengers. So that's the thing that they do,
right?
Not what they are.
Yes. And which is the opposite of what we were talking about with demons.
Right. Exactly. Yep. So you have angels being the role that they play. So
yes,
it doesn't it's a class, it's a part of the tier structure of the heavenly host, but it doesn't describe
who they are.
Right.
Describe what they do.
Right.
So I could be an angel because I could deliver a message.
Right.
Right.
Right. It's just like anything, your job does not make you who you are. You can be anything. You could be an accountant.
Right.
But you're a human being.
Right.
Your accountant is just your job. That's what you do. Yeah.
Yeah. It's also just and this isn't even part of this one, but the Satan in the Old Testament. Jesus is described as standing in the way as Satan in front of Balaam. Jesus isn't Satan. I'm not Mormon, right? But he's described that way as he came as Satan. Mm-hmm. Well, because he's an opposer. He was opposing. He was doing that. He was standing in his way. Doesn't mean that Jesus is Satan. It means that we don't understand what language means sometimes. And so same thing with angel. It's a job description. Like Satan in the Old Testament is a job description.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think we're on the same page there. I think it's on the same page. So what happens when we flatten out all the spiritual beings into one word and just say everything's just angel? Well, it's an unfortunate consequence of translation. Yeah.
And like we lose the dimension of like the unseen realm. Mm-hmm. Like it just turns everything into angels or demons.
Yeah. It kind of overly simplifies stuff, would you say?
It overly simplifies it, and then we miss some of the important aspects of like what the heavenly hosts are doing. Mm-hmm. Like they have different, like there's different classes, right? There's different types of beings. They're different, like the angelic hosts, right? These beings are not just one thing.
Right.
Yeah, which is important, and we lose that when we just say angels and demons.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would agree with you. Even like the whole Genesis with Eve, there's that Genesis 3, whatever. The Satan or coming down. If everything is all the same, it seems to not carry as much weight as if you're like, well, the Satan, the serpent in Eden. Like that was a pretty high-ranking individual, mm-hmm. So it would make a lot of sense why they were paying attention to it, because it was like a throne guardian.
Yeah.
Like it was in the presence of God all the time. Of course, you're going to believe it, right? Versus like if everything's all the same and you just like it provides a different weight in reasoning why people believe certain things. It doesn't strip it of everything and just try to make it super basic. Because I don't know,
right?
I think it's just something to think about. So why do you think our culture reduced angels in the realm of things to just cute little naked baby cherubs?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because I think probably it's less frightening, or it's easier to kind of wrap our little human brains around. Mm-hmm. And there's elements of Hollywood and movies and depictions of or paintings, like mm-hmm. It simplifies something that is complicated. Maybe it's a reduction of their position, like makes it less relevant, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think people could be doing it almost out of a good place to say, well, God is the one that does everything, and so these other entity things that seem so scary and powerful and whatever, well, that's too much power. Take it away mm-hmm. from them, make them simple little naked babies.
Yeah.
Because God's the one doing everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's possible. But I think what we learn if you have a Deuteronomy 32 worldview is that God chooses to have these council members mm-hmm. do work on his behalf.
Yeah.
Like he empowers them to go out and do his will. Mm-hmm. So he is giving them that power.
Yeah.
Right? That's coming from God for them to enact his will and what he wants done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I very much agree. There's some passages exactly on that. Psalm 82, Job 1 and 2, 1 Kings 22, they all describe this divine council thing to where you have what I would only assume to be very important, powerful things because they're in the council of God and they are doing stuff. Mm-hmm. They're not just, sitting in the background watching God, and like, a bunch of yes men just saying, "Yay, go do it." And no, they're doing stuff. They're making decisions and they're enacting stuff. They're going in places and doing things, and they're given authority and they're given license to do stuff. Yeah. One of my favorite ones, they're talking about Job, and again, the Satan, which I'm viewing that as a spiritual being, not Lucifer himself, but a spiritual being. He's given a lot of power and authority, right? To go mess with Job and create whirlwinds. Like, we're not even talking about elemental spirits. That would be a completely other thing, but he's given power over nature to create some stuff and do things, which is, I don't see a little naked baby angel running around doing that. No. Like that's a pretty scary thing. Yeah.
I think, that's a great point. I think they are scary in a way. Like,
they can look very scary.
They hold a lot of weight. They have their own like characteristics and presence and, in a way their own glory, not like taking away from the glory of God, but God has, we have that as well. Yeah. Like we have an element of lowercase g glory.
Sure.
Like, and I think the angels do as well. I mean, I think that's why you have several references in the Bible where an angel shows up and he says, "Do not be afraid."
Yeah.
Or fear not.
Yeah.
Or like they're intimidating. They're imposing.
Yeah.
Like they know that they're inciting fear in us human beings. Like you see it all over the place from Genesis, Daniel, Luke, Matthew, Acts, Revelation. Like it's always fear not, do not be afraid. Like there's a reason to be afraid.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're coming here and interacting with us and being like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like we're on the same side here. But there's obviously, to me, there is that, intimidating presence. Like you're like in awe almost.
Okay, so then let's build on that a little bit, because sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You have the angels. I don't remember exactly where it is. Probably in Genesis, talking about Sodom and Gomorrah with
with Lot.
With Lot, they just looked like people. Well, they looked like people. They were described as people. The people in Sodom and Gomorrah wanted to have sex with them, which if they were these fiery, flaming, completely imposing looking individuals, I don't think they want to do that. I think they'd be scared.
Yeah.
But if they look like people, which is kind of how it's described, then it seems like you have two different things going on. Do you think that the natural state of the heavenly host are that imposing, like, light switch turned on, glowing, like flaming, crazy looking thing, and then they can look like humans? Or do you think they're human looking that can look like these things? Or do you think that there's like 50 different variations of that?
All of the above.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a really interesting question. And I would say it's a little bit of everything. They obviously are spiritual beings. There is a supernaturalness about them. They're not us. Right. They're not humans. They're something else entirely. But like, as you're talking about, it's Genesis 19. Like there is a physicality to them. And I think they can choose to like turn that on and off. So when they are interacting with us, like Paul says it in the New Testament, he says, you may entertain angels without knowing.
Yeah.
So just that alone gives you a clue that they can look like us when they want to, or when it's God's purpose and they're enacting his will, whatever that may be. You hear stories. I think everybody has somebody they know that will be like, they were in this like really bad car accident and they like saw this person that showed up out of nowhere, saved them, and then vanished. So you have things like that. So there is a physicalness to them. You have I think just right before that, the two angels, the angel of the Lord with two other angels.
Yeah, when they came to Abraham.
Yes,
yeah, which are like the same ones that went on to Lot.
Yeah, they're the same ones that went on to see Lot. But they sit, they walk, they eat, right? So if they're doing all these things, like, and then there's also instances of the angel that wrestles with Jacob. Yeah. So like they're physically touching.
Yes.
You have where is it? Like you have other incidents where they like will physically touch other people, right? So I don't think if you're pure spirit or you're just you're like a spirit being that you can do that. You know,
you're
like
pure spirit, I don't think
you would
so.
need to have
make any sense.
a physicality about you. So I think this is you can make the argument biblically like that they can go back and forth. Like they do have the ability, and maybe that is for our protection and our benefit. So when they do show up in a human-like form, like they're serving some purpose for our benefit. And then they'll show up in other times like their pure selves, like fiery warriors, like we see with Elisha. Elisha.
I get it mixed up.
Yeah, he probably hates that. He's like, it's Elisha.
I know. He's in the great cloud of witnesses.
Yeah, he's in the cloud of witnesses being like, it was me.
It's like, why did you change my name?
But when he asked God to show his servant, and then the whole mountainside is just full of fiery angel warriors, like ready to go to battle. And so, I would say, you know, and again, the guys in Sodom, they wanted to like literally rape these guys.
Yes.
And that's
they're trying to do Genesis 6 again.
It is like, so if people are recognizing these angels and like are attracted to them, like that, to me, that means they have to have some physicality to them. So, yeah.
So let me throw something at you.
Let's do it.
What if, in their natural state, like Alberino likes to point out, if they're like the elder race, and then like Lord of the Rings, like if they're the elves, just a better looking, overall, just a more refined, better human, still compatible. What if they look human? They are humanoid. Let's just say that they're humanoid, but. And I would have to look up. It would be interesting to see if all the times that they show up and they're like, "Don't be scared" and all this kind of stuff. Would you be scared of just a dude standing there, or I forget the term of it. It's not a berserker. It's like a Russian thing. I don't know. But like a dude in a like all armored up. Like he's got all like. Think of the. I don't forget all the terms of the movie things, whatever. But like, you know, they're standing like an Avatar kind of thing where he's inside of a suit thing that's all like, you know, ready to go to war and stuff like that. What if their natural state is humanoid?
Oh.
But when they come, just like you said, in the armies of heaven were ready, sitting on the mountain, ready to go, ready to just destroy the Syrians, right? But they're being held up. They're not going yet, but they're ready for war. They're going to look intimidated. They're ready for war.
Yeah.
Right? You look at the times when they come in like a very big, important mission to go deliver this thing. They're on a mission. They're doing something. Maybe, and we haven't even talked about it, but the whole, is it Michael fighting the Prince of Persia thing?
Yeah, Daniel 10.
Right? Maybe when the angel comes to deliver a message to Mary, he had to get through some stuff. We don't know. That's speculation. But when they're coming in a very, very official capacity, maybe when we send people in official capacities, they're in their uniform, they're in their stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
What if that's their official, more elegant, not form, but capacity? So they have donned on their...
Like they have a suit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
What I'm thinking now, okay, so stay with me on this. In Avatar... right? You have the humans that link up to the avatars.
Yeah.
Could you have something like that? Now you have the essence of the person is now embodied in this totally different creature, right? Which has a
like dinosaurs, like demons want something to be, and so they have made this T-Rex monster thing to go be crazy, so the spirit can get inside this thing and go do stuff. So like if angels are on the other side of things, to where they have this warrior body thing that they can get into.
Yeah,
maybe that's why they don't die.
Ooh.
Because when they fight, they're fighting in a.
They have like a shield.
Dang, I just made that up. And it's probably not right, but I don't know.
But maybe.
Yeah, but maybe.
Skeptically optimistic.
No, but think about that. I don't know. That is something to think about. I don't know. They could have like an Avatarish kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
They're clearly warriors, right? There is clearly a like battle version of like they're warriors, right?
Yeah.
We see that. There's that, I don't know the reference, so I apologize, but there's that one angel that kills 185,000 Syrians.
Yeah.
And you have the cherub that is placed at the entrance of the garden with a flaming sword. Like you have,
they're like two cherubs and the sword bites. Yeah,
you have Jesus is the Lord of Heaven's armies. Like you have armies, you have battle, like you have tools to fight, right?
Right.
So they're
which seem to be pre-existent to humans.
Yeah. Well, and if you go back to Enoch, right? The Watchers taught humanity how to build weapons.
Right.
And that's
so why did they need them?
Yeah. That's in Genesis 4, I think, is when Lamech's son starts to forge weapons. So like, where did that come from? Like, God, like heaven's armies had weapons.
Humans had to figure that out from them.
Right. So they're doing, man, we went deep on that.
No, it's interesting. It's even like Stargate. That movie, I love Stargate. The more I watch that, the more it's like it's just picking up on weird different things. But you've seen that, right? The movie Stargate, and how they're all armored up with their weird technology kind of stuff and things. And underneath all that, it's a dude. You know, but then they have like all this other stuff put on, and that's super intimidating and scary. But when the dude steps out, he just looks like a dude. I don't know. It's interesting.
If you do adhere to the elder race idea, they would also be image bearers of God.
Yes.
So we would, at least some of the heavenly hosts, we would share similarities with.
Oh yeah. No, I agree with that.
In some sort of humanoid fashion. Right?
Yeah.
And the way like cherubs and seraphim are described, like definitely do not sound human at all.
I would be totally on board with those things being different.
Right. But then you have Michael, you have Gabriel. Like these are angels that are named in scripture. Yeah. Raphael is another archangel. He's mentioned in Tobit, which is a deuterocanonical book. Very interesting story. He also eats in Tobit. Raphael eats. Yeah. So, and then they don't even know. So that one's interesting. Like Protestants don't view the book of Tobit as canon. Sure. It is Jewish literature though. So like,
well, same like Enoch, right?
Yeah. I've read it. Like it's a very interesting story, but Raphael is basically escorting Tobit and to go, marry a woman, and like there's an inheritance involved, but he's his traveling companion. Okay. And he doesn't know that he's an angel the entire time. He tells them that he's a son of Israel. Okay. And like he's I forget exactly, like if he's saying that he's his cousin or something like that, but they don't know the entire time until the very end that Raphael is actually an angel. They think he's just a human guy as a traveling companion.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, that played somehow into the Jewish understanding of angels. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you can see that in the rest of scripture. I think we lay that out. Yeah. So I think it's possible, we don't know. But it does seem that they can come across in different appearances based on their role. Yeah. What they're doing.
And their intent. What are they trying to do?
Right. Yeah. So Yeah, and we don't know what's going on in that realm. Like you're saying, maybe when Gabriel went to visit Mary, he had to fight his way through something to get there.
Maybe. Or he just had stuff on just in case because he's doing something really important, and you got to make sure that
you don't know if you're going to get jumped on the way or ambushed or
Yeah. I don't know. It is speculation, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
Something to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, we went
deep on that one.
Damn.
Very interesting on that one. So angels, we talked about that. The main points, Psalm 82, Job 1 through 2, 1 Kings 22, talking about, they have a place. They're part of the council, depending on exactly how you're looking at it, as far as them being, those are sons of God, but they're angelic, heavenly host beings.
Yeah. The Bene Elohim.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to, we could run through the class structure of the heavenly host. So right off the top, Yahweh, God.
Yep.
Right. He is incomparable.
Right.
He is like no other, and no other is like Yahweh. So I think Heiser gets into this, and I like how he says it. Yahweh is Elohim, but there's no other Elohim that is Yahweh. So he is species unique.
Yep.
Right. He alone is the creator of the rest of everything. The entire universe, whatever's out there, everything that exists is from God. So he is uncreated, sovereign, and sits above everything else, the Most High. And then you have the sons of God, which you just mentioned. They're like the counselors. They are
the higher ranking.
The higher ranking.
Familial.
Yeah, they're the ones that God has set to rule over the nations. As we see happened at the Tower of Babel, God divided the nations according to the sons of God.
Yeah.
They then went to do their own thing.
Some of them,
right?
Yeah. That's where that gets interesting. Some of them do that, but then you also have the whole Watcher thing, which are kind of in the same ish category, right? Of sons of God.
Yeah.
And you have them doing stuff in God's counsel. So there's still some who didn't rebel, right? And still have that position, that very close knit relationship, positional relationship with God.
Yeah, I would say that there are still good watchers.
Yeah,
there's still holy watchers, right? So this, I think the watchers are the sons of God.
I think so. Yeah,
a different role.
Sure.
So they may not be like I don't know. They may not be council members, but they are in the same class.
Well, that's what it's taught. I think in that 1 Kings 22. When is that 1 Kings? I don't remember. Where Nebuchadnezzar talking to Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah.
The decree of the watchers. Yep. And then also
Daniel.
By Daniel, it would be Daniel. Yeah. Yep. So by the decree of the watchers and by the decree of the Most High, which gives the connotation that seems like the exact same thing as the decree of the council.
Right.
Right. So and again, if that's Daniel, what is that as Daniel?
Yeah, Daniel 4.
Yep. If that's coming from that very specific worldview, right? I think that was Babylonian stuff. They had watchers. So he'd be writing in the same way, talking in the same language. So he wouldn't use sons of God, he would use watchers. So they could be very much like the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. And that is besides Enoch, which is not canon.
Right.
That is the only place where watchers is specifically mentioned in the Bible. And it is there. And it is there for a reason.
Yep.
Okay. So under that we have the archangels, right? And so these are kind of like the princes. You have Michael, Gabriel, like I said, they're mentioned. Michael defends Israel. They're like the warrior leaders, right? That's how I kind of see them.
I think so. You could even say specifically with Michael, because he's the angel for Israel, he would be a good principality.
Sure. Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
Because then you have the opposite side of things. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I think
because it's positional over a geographical location or a people group.
Same language applies to both kingdoms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Then we have the cherubim, as we see in Genesis 3, like we talked about, was positioned at the entrance to the garden. These are the throne guardians, right? They are the ones that protect like God's holiness, sacred space. Yeah, and really interesting, multi-faced.
Weird
beings,
looking things
like multiple heads.
Yep.
Very, very strange.
Yep.
Also described as having wheels. In Ezekiel, there's a it's what is it? Ophanim. So like you have the cherubs, and then you have these wheels that follow them. And if you read Ezekiel 1, it is wild.
It's weird. Yeah.
Very weird. It sounds an awful lot like a spaceship. To me,
it does. It depends. Okay, have you heard Heiser talk on that one?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, because that one, it does sound a whole lot like spaceships and stuff like that. But also there are like it's chariot terminology,
sure,
right? Which when God moves around, why ever he does, I don't know. He does what he wants to do, but he seems to roll around on like a chariot pulled by these things, right? So you have the same kind of thing, I guess, and I'd have to look it up again. But in the descriptions of things in the temple, like the chariot of the Lord, or like I can't remember. I'll have to find it somewhere. But there is terminology for God being rolled around like on a chariot, which is a wheel.
Right,
and like there is that same description, the wheel within a wheel, like there. And I have to find it again. There is that description in the temple on like a thing. Right. There's a thing where it's like it has the wheel within a wheel.
Yeah.
Because I know there's that's kind of the Ancient Aliens kind of thing where it's like UFO stuff, which I'm not necessarily opposed, like whichever one it is, Elijah or Elisha, whatever, being picked up by the flaming chariot. Yeah. I'm not opposed to that being a UFO.
Yeah.
I am not opposed to that at all, because how are they going to describe something flying out of the sky, picking somebody up? You think we have horses on fire running around in heaven, or is it all symbology, or is he just describing the most clearest form of conveyance that he knew that came and picked him up and left? Well, I'm not opposed to that being a UFO thing. I don't care. That's fine. It works. It doesn't matter.
Which is in its own right, that story it's
trippy,
bananas. Yeah. Very, very strange.
Yeah. Yes, throne guardians.
Yeah, throne guardians. So then we move to the seraphim, which are the fiery worshipers of God. These are the ones that are described with 6 wings that cover their feet and their eyes, and they are proclaiming God's holiness.
They're the ones that shake the firmament and make the northern stars dance.
Yeah, that's right. Link to Northern Lights episode. Then you have living creatures. Now, I think they may be separate, but they kind of overlap with the cherubim.
Okay,
a little bit, and how
they do kind of the same.
How they're described. They very well could be their own class, but they do share a lot of similarities in their presence and what they do, like their role in praising around the throne.
Okay.
As described in Revelation, we see living creatures. We have watchers. We touched on the watchers a little bit. They're kind of like the observers of humanity, like checking in on what's going on, reporting to the council or to Yahweh himself.
They become like a prince.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah, I get.
They're set over people to look and watch and take care of, and kind of a little bit.
Kind of, to me, they kind of float between the like archangel, sons of God, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
whether it's a function like angel, like a messenger.
Okay,
and they're the same entity, like same creature. It's just that watching is their role.
Okay,
but it seems like they fit somewhere in that realm.
could you say that the Satan in Job was a watcher?
I think you can. Yeah,
that seemed to be exactly what he's doing, right?
What does God ask him? He says, right. Where have you been?
Right.
And his answer is, I've been
going to and fro from across the earth,
patrolling the earth, like checking stuff out.
Yeah. Like, so he could have been a watcher that was designated to do this,
right? Yeah.
To report for that.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think that checks out. And then you have the messengers. You have the angels themselves, or I'm going to butcher this, Malachim in Hebrew. This is a task specific, right? Yes. So they are delivering. They could be ministering, like we have angels ministering to Jesus.
Yep.
After his wilderness temptation. And so it's either delivering aid or a message or judgment, like the angels going to Sodom and Gomorrah, they're delivering judgment. So that is our hierarchy of the heavenly host.
Yeah, it is a lot more detailed. I had this short little thing. Angels serve as administrators, couriers, warriors, watchers, and throne room attendants.
Yeah, I mean, it's all.
But that's much better because you actually had verses to go with it. Yeah, really.
And this is like, and that's a good point. Like these are all beings that are described in the Bible.
Yes.
The only one that I pulled out of Tobit was Raphael, who, again, he's being described as an archangel. So, which we see with Michael and Gabriel. So, that is our understanding, and I think a very, I think most modern scholars would accept that hierarchy of angels.
And I don't know which one exactly is over which one, exactly how that works. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, even just like us with humans, like humans are all technically the same, right? But some have different abilities. Sure. Some are smarter, some are stronger, some are bigger and shorter, whatever. But then they have different tasks and different roles. I mean, in every civilization and society, right?
Right.
I think it's the same-ish kind of thing.
I think that's important. We talked about this pre-roll, but like you have the heavenly host. You have these different types of creatures.
Yeah.
And they all have different roles, right? They're all performing functions for Yahweh God as like he sees fits to bring about his will. Like they are serving him in their capacity in different roles. Right. And when we look at the kingdom of darkness and we look at like the hierarchy that exists there, they all have one role. And that is to oppose God. To create chaos, which is anti-God.
Right.
So
they all do it in their own little ways, but that's their main job.
That's their job. And then when we see a breakdown in the heavenly host having like different roles and different jobs and different functions to bring about the will of God. And something that that struck me recently, like looking at this stuff, you have, we talked about angels showing up and saying, don't be afraid, or, telling humans to calm down. It's all right.
Yeah.
And I think there's something there. I think that's an important distinction between when the heavenly hosts show up and then when servants of the like kingdom of darkness show up.
Yeah.
Right. Because you have these imposing figures showing up to do the will of God, and they're not hiding it. They're not trying to cover it up or be deceptive. Like you know who they are and why they are there.
Yeah,
they are there on God's behalf. But then you have the kingdom of darkness shows up in deception. Like they show up, they want to be your buddy.
Right.
They want to be your friend. They want to entice you. They'd be like, hey, we're here to help you out.
Yeah.
Or we're going to give you this thing.
Yeah.
So you have this opposite side of the coin where God's servants show up and they're telling you not to be afraid.
Yeah.
And then you'll have the kingdom of darkness show up, and they're trying to entice you into something to get you into it, like enslavement and death, and presenting this positive or like happy sense, like to lure you in through deception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. I hope I can articulate this, because exactly what you're saying there, where you have evil, since they have pride and they're pulling attention to themselves, right? They present themselves well to attract you to them. Angels or they're good heavenly beings. It's not that they're snooty, right? But if they show up and you try to do something with them that you're not supposed to do, worship them or give them undue glory, it's not that they're snooty, but they're like, just shut up, dude. Like, no, do not do that. That belongs to God.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like, they do not take any of that on themselves.
Yeah.
Whereas other things, I'm trying to think specific stuff, but other things, if they show up, and you start interacting with them, or this would be a caution, because I don't know any biblical references to this, but this would be a caution. If something shows up to you, whether it be in a dream or in person or whatever, and some kind of thing, and is trying to be nice to you, teach you, talk to you, whatever, I'm thinking alien, Bigfoot stuff, whatever, be very, very, very cautious about that, and probably just run away, because anytime it's a good angelic being, they're sitting having conversations with you.
Yeah.
If they got a goal, this goes back to like their first estate, right? Where they're supposed to be. Yeah. We have dominion of earth. They have dominion outside. If God sends them to do a message, they're going to go do their message, get done, and leave. They're not hanging around having coffee, unless, like the two angels with Abraham, they were with God.
Right.
So they're going to hang around with God until God tells them to go and leave and do their thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep. But now you're going to have to unpack that for our listeners here. How do we have two angels hanging out with God while they're with Abraham?
What do you mean, how?
How is God's presence here on earth?
Okay, I see where you're going.
With two angels.
I see where you're going. Okay.
With Abraham. How do we understand that?
Okay. So you're getting into the angel of the Lord thing, right?
That's right.
Kinda? Okay.
Yeah. Who is the angel of the Lord?
My understanding of how this is, the angel of the Lord would be the pre-incarnate Jesus. Okay? And I hope I'm not being heretical when I say this. It's just the way that my mind is wrapping around it. I don't understand how these things work exactly, but if the pre-incarnate Jesus is as just hear me with a grain of salt, like an avatar kind of thing, where the name of God, the reputation, God himself is in that angel, because it's kind of said that way, to where that angel, the angel of the Lord, carries his name in a different way than just like he's given authority. It's like God is in him, in the same way that Jesus, when he's here, talks about that him and the Father are one, because the Father is in him and he is in the Father.
Right.
In that same way, not to say that the angel of the Lord in the Old Testament is just some spirit thing. No, I don't know how, but it's a body.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's just some random angel that God is like, okay, well, I'm going to pick you today to possess, and I'm in you now.
Yeah.
And then I pull that out, and now you're back to being whatever your name is. It's like, I don't think it's that way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a pre-incarnate, it's a physical form, and I don't know how exactly that works. It's a physical form of God that is indwelt by God. Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question.
I think it does. And I think it's also confusing.
It's very confusing.
Yeah. So we have this character that shows up, and it is called the angel of the Lord.
Yeah.
Specifically, it is not, it's not just a regular angel. And
it's like a very specific title.
I think it's a pre-incarnate, I think Heiser points this out, pre-incarnate manifestation of Yahweh.
There you go.
So you have the second person of the Trinity, being Jesus, is showing up in some human angelic form.
In a physical form, however it works.
Yeah, and he's not incarnate. That happens
right
at his birth.
Right. Unless you want to try to say that he can time travel, but that's a whole
yeah,
that almost sounds cheap.
Yeah,
but,
it's like it's a manifestation of the name of God on earth at that time. So you have this goes to like the dual Godhead that the Hebrews understood of God. Like you have God in heaven, Yahweh God in heaven, and then you have Yahweh God on earth, because like that's what the ark was for, was in like that's where God's presence rested. So you had both God in heaven and God on earth at the same time. And the angel of the Lord seems to be the manifestation of Yahweh, because this is a quote from Angels chapter 8. This book right here. Check it out sometime. The angel of the Lord is not a created angel. He is a deity, Yahweh in this form, appearing before the ultimate incarnation in Jesus. This is why the angel can speak as God, accept worship, and bear the divine name. That is like, so he is sent by Yahweh. We see this a few times where it's just different. There's something different about this angel in particular. He speaks as God in the first person in Genesis 16. I am the God of your father. Yeah. He claims divine identity in Genesis 22. And then he accepts worship, which
only
God can accept worship. If an angel accepts worship, he's not on God's side, right? So he is. So you have this angel accepting worship, and Joshua judges with a direct comparison to Revelation 19. There might be one other passage in Revelation, but you have John who falls down before an angel and starts to worship him, and the angel is like, "Whoa, stop! Hang up! Don't do that! Like we're on the same side. We're both servants of God. Worship is reserved only for God." So you have angels being very clear not to worship them, but the angel of the Lord accepts worship.
Can you imagine the pucker factor on that angel at that moment? like for real. I don't know. Have you ever thought of that? Like give it just a split second decision. That thing could have completely ended its deal, right? Yeah. I don't know. That was just a side note, but yeah. No wonder he'd be so quick to be like, "Oh, no, don't do that.
Don't do that."
He's like, "See, I didn't."
Yep. This one is really interesting. He has the authority to forgive or withhold punishment, as we see in Exodus 23. And what do we know? Only God can forgive sin.
Yeah.
And so, like, Yahweh tells Moses, "I'm sending my angel before you." Basically, don't piss him off because he has the ability to forgive sin.
Yeah.
Like, that's not your regular, run of the mill messenger angel.
Right.
So, very interesting. The angel of the Lord, and I agree. And I think most mainstream evangelicals view the angel of the Lord the same way. Somehow, it is Jesus in a pre-incarnate form. Yeah. Because who else can bear the name of Yahweh?
Yeah, and like its full authoritative capacity. Yeah, like only God.
Yeah, God's not picking like, "Hey, who wants to be my angel today?"
Yeah,
pick me, pick me. Yeah, that role is for a specific, being. So,
that's good. That's good. I don't know how this ties in, but if you have the pre-incarnate Jesus in the Old Testament, you also have the Spirit of God that moves and does things. And you have God the Father. I was thinking of this. I was talking to my kids about, I don't remember exactly how we were talking about it, the Trinity or something like that. This goes back into what you said earlier about God being pre-existent to everything. He's species unique, right? Things are made in his image, but they're not the same. Okay. And and I was trying to explain this to my kids. If you have humanity, if everything is like 2D, two-dimensional, right? Like a picture, like, you know, and there's stick figures and stuff. And those images represent, you know, God, or imagers of God, right? But God is very different than them. And when God interacts with us, trying to explain like God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, and how those things work together, it would be as if you have that sheet of paper and then like God puts his hand in and all we see is these three separate things. But they're all part of the same God. But the way that he has to interact with us, because we're not on the same level as him, so the only way that we can actually understand is he, like through physical form, through the Holy Spirit, and through God the Father, however that works, we look at them as three separate things, but they're all part of the same being. Does that? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the differentiation between being and personhood.
Yeah. Because it is very trippy. Because you can see how, is it, it's not Mormons, Jehovah's Witness, get into the whole, like, Jesus being just an angel, or right, in that Jehovah's Witness, that he's Michael the Archangel. I think they're talking about that, where he's like separate. He's not the same thing. Yeah. Because it's hard for people to like put this distinguishment between the angel of the Lord, because they're like, well, how can he be that? But then he's God. Yeah. But then you also have God. Yeah. Yeah. I think it helps tie things together that it is, it's a manifestation, because we're humans and we need to see that, or else we're like, we don't know what's going on.
Right.
I don't know.
Maybe that makes sense. We're very simple-minded creatures.
We're little dirt goblins, right? I mean, if you really think about it.
Dirt creatures.
Yeah. Which is a huge distinction between humans. I mean, that goes into, we're made a little lower than the angels. We are little dirt people, and they are, I was trying to find where it was, where it talks about them being made, I mean, they're obviously made different than we are, and however they're made different than we are, we don't know if it's just attributable. They can do different things that we can do. Maybe, I don't know. Is their essence made out of something different? Like they're not made out of the dirt, but they're made out of, I don't remember if it's in Enoch or if it's in the Bible somewhere. It talks about them being made out of fire. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. It's a distinction, and we have to, and that's a beautiful thing that God, again, he debased himself. He came down to be one of us in order to reconcile us, right? Which is crazy, because we talk about all these weird things about angels, but then the God who made that, like, became one of us in order to restore us. That's a very humbling thought.
Yeah. It's good.
I don't know. What else we got on here? Those are most of my big points. We already talked. One of my big things I wanted to say was human interaction with angels. Like, we're not told to seek that out. Like, don't be seeking out interactions with angels. Don't be praying to angels. Because again, that goes back into what you said earlier about, like, if an angel is accepting worship, or if it's even entertaining your conversations, that would be a huge red flag. Yeah. Because we're not told to do that. Yeah, we're not supposed to talk to spirits.
Don't try and talk to your angel. Like,
no, which is a made up thing. Like, we might have guardian angels.
This was my next question.
Yeah, okay.
Let's hear it.
Well, I mean, we might have guardian angels, but we're not told necessarily that we are. The only ones that I can find are, what is it? I always go to Paul, because there's only one I feel like he wrote half the New Testament. But wasn't it Paul when he came out when he was released out of prison? Peter. Yeah. Peter, right? And they're like, well, that's his angel. Yeah. So there's this idea that at least they had then, that you have an angel. Yeah. There's this idea, but I think that's one of the only places in the Bible there is that one passage, and I will have to look it up. There's a passage where Jesus he's talking about the little children, and that they have angels in heaven. Okay. I'm going to try and pull that up, but if you could give us your thoughts on guardian angels, is there any grounds for it? Yeah, what we're told, and again, I should have the verse too, but what we're told are that angels are ministering spirits. So if an angel, or that's one thing we're told about them, and if the idea, going back to like dominion and stuff. If earth is our domain, it's our dominion. It's where we're supposed to be. It's where we are supposed to image God. And angels in their proper estate is outside of all of this. But yet they are assigned to help us, to be ministering spirits to help us in our tasks. Not to do our tasks, but to help us in our tasks. Then it would make sense that you would have times where an angel would be assigned to aid or assist you. If that makes sense. They're not going to, again, if they're coming in trying to take all the glory, well, that's probably not an angel. That's probably something else. If they're coming in unaware and they're aiding or assisting or even checking on you unaware, that perfectly plays into like, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
Did you find what?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. Matthew 18:10. See that you do not despise one of these little ones. For I tell you that in heaven, their angels always see the face of my Father who is in heaven. Yeah. It's a little hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
Like, does that mean their angels are personal assigned angels to us? I don't know. I don't know what that connection necessarily is. It's, I mean, I guess you can draw a conclusion that their angels for I tell you that in heaven, their angels always see the face of my Father who is in heaven. And
Logos that had a link to what we just talked about in Acts 12, Peter's angel.
Right.
So it's linked. Those are at least in Logos, those are ideas that are linked together.
Right. It's interesting. I mean, I don't see why not.
I don't see why not.
You know,
go ahead. I was just saying the huge thing to be careful of is I don't see that that's your buddy that you're like
Agreed.
Pals with, you're talking to.
Yep.
He's your guide. Nope. That's the Holy Spirit's job. You go straight to God. You know, like straight to jail. You go straight to God, right? That whole thing. Don't be talking to, don't be trying to do that. Don't be trying to communicate with these things.
Nope.
Because whatever they are, if we were told, I mean, when the disciples asked Jesus how to pray, he doesn't say, okay, now your angel is yada yada, go talk to him. And no, you go to God, you go to the Father, you talk straight to God. That's the huge thing. Angels are cool. This is very interesting. Don't blow them up into something that they're not supposed to be. I mean, worst case scenario, you'd be tempting them to sin, to accept, worship or admiration or something. I mean, that'd be worse. I mean, I don't know if that's worst case scenario, but that'd be a bad scenario.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I almost feel like if we were supposed to interact with them, like they would interact with us.
Yeah.
Like it makes it seem like you have to find, it sounds like Christian witchcraft to me. Like, honestly, like if you have to find some secret formula to figure out how to talk to your guardian angel, like it doesn't sit right with me.
No. Like,
it doesn't mean we can't have them, but their job is not to like really interact with us in a way that we understand. Like they might be doing something behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But again, that is according to God's will for our lives. Like they are enacting that. I'm going to bring up another NDE. Like this person's story, they got to somehow see their guardian angel in their near-death experience and like interact with it. But in this particular experience, there were three angels assigned to people.
Okay.
And so and they said they were all different sizes. So you had like a 12-foot angel, a 15-foot angel, and then like this 18-foot angel, right? And so one was your guardian. The other one was a scribe, which is
getting into the books,
frightening.
Yep.
Yeah, there's an angel just writing down everything.
Dang, that's okay.
And then the big boss was like the manager, like he's like the supervisor, making sure everything's going okay. Again, this was an NDE story. Take it for what you will, but I was like, that is interesting. So there's three of them. I mean, it might be a thing. I don't know, but
could be.
I don't believe that we are supposed to be trying to
seek out interactions,
seek them out at all.
Yeah.
So I would I would say we do have guardian angels, but they're not for us to, like, if God wants to show that to us, then he will. But I don't believe we're supposed to seek them out, pray to them, ask them for, advice or help or anything like that. They're there for their own purpose and their own mission or whatever they have to do. So however that looks.
Yep.
So.
Let me see what this says real quick. This said Ephesians 3:10. What does it say? So that through the church, the manifold wisdom of God might be made known to the rulers and authorities in the heavenly places. I was trying to tie that in. As far as my last thoughts on here, exactly what you said. You need to respect their role, but do not give them undue attention. You need to live faithfully under the king, because his angels watch how the church displays God's wisdom. That was Ephesians 3:10.
Yeah.
Because they're watching.
Yeah.
Right. But you live faithfully to the king.
Right.
Understand that you are part of this cosmic family, and this cosmic conflict, and basically stay in your lane. We have our job to do, which is the whole dominion mandate plus the
Great Commission.
Great Commission.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. So those are our main things. That's what we're supposed to do. Let the angels do their job. They're real. They're there. I don't know exactly what they do. But what is super cool, to me, after all this stuff is, as cool as angels are, we're made a little bit lower than them, and yet we are given the authority to become sons of God. So we are elevated to a different position, which is a very humbling thing. Again, going back to this fact that we are made of dirt, right? We can't walk through walls, and we can't pull down fire from heaven, or however it works. Like, that's not us, but yet we are given the authority to become sons of God. That is a very, very humbling thing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on angels. You got anything else?
Yeah. No, I think that's a good place to wrap this one up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Cool. Well, so angels, we did demons.
We made it to the end of season 1.
Yeah.
Man.
10 episodes.
10 episodes.
Yep.
All right. Well, we probably put something together for a little teaser for season 2. But so stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoyed this season of the Tinfoil Kingdom. Please let us know your thoughts, comments. We'd love to hear what you think, and some feedback. And hope you will join us for season 2.
That's right. See you later.